your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and tonight we bring you the story of a cancer survivor. She's advising others afflicted with the disease not to give up the fight. Jamila Mizik reports.
Lucida Johnson says it was in 2016 when she discovered a lump in her breast determined to be cancer. She says after having surgery, some 4 weeks later, she was declared cancer-free. However, she was required to do 4 rounds of chemo treatments and 5 rounds of radiation. Today, at 71 years old, she is a 5-year breast cancer survivor.
Thanks be to God, it did not make me sick. None of the treatment did not make me sick. My children cry more than I did. I did not worry about it because I know I have God on my side, and the Bible says that he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for iniquity, the chastisement was upon us, and by our stripes we are healed. And I put my trust in God, and I know God would bring me out.
Johnson says she thanks God every morning for keeping her in good health, and she keeps herself occupied by working in her garden. She believes eating greens from her garden has also helped her to maintain her health.
I would do my devotion from 5 o'clock until 6, and then at 6 o'clock, a group of girls, we have a prayer line going on, and some of the girls on the prayer line, they're cancer survivors also. So we'll just share with one another, sing and pray and encourage one another. And then when we finish, I would come in my yard and tell my things good morning and talk with them and pick trees, the leaves around the trees, because like the doctor told me, said that working in the yard is a good therapy.
She says cancer is not a death sentence, and she is encouraging those with cancer to put their trust in God. Johnson adds that it is her hope that Grants Bahama will soon have an oncology center.
Right now, I go and I do a mammogram every year, once a year. And today is my birthday, and I need to do it in October, but we don't have a mammogram machine working in Grand Bahama. From last year, we do not have a mammogram machine in Grand Bahama. And it's very important that we get this mammogram machine working, because I need to go now, and if it's not working, I have to go and see a private doctor, which I don't have funds. But, God is my provider. He's going to provide for me.
And this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, she's sharing this bit of advice to women.
The most important thing, pray, read the Bible, and stay in the Word. Stay in the Word, and the Word would help you. Drink your bush tea, drink your fever grass, drink your soursop leaf, drink your moringa, drink your leaves. Come off the tea bag, do not use the tea bag, because this is what the doctor tell me. Sodas, do not use sodas. Red meat, I leave red meat. I use a lot of fish and turkey. I use vegetables and do my juice. Examine those breasts, examine those breasts. Thanks be to God, I was able. I find my lump in my breast myself. No doctor did not find that. I find that laying on my bed, examining myself. It's very important. And go and do your mammogram.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, the education profession has lost another outstanding teacher. Earlier this month, members of the profession mourned the passing of former educator Sheila Scavala. And this week, teachers are once again mourning the death of principal of St. Paul's Methodist College, Jacqueline Pinder. Tonight, her colleagues say they are deeply moved by her passing. Jamila Mizik reports.
Educators reminiscing on the life and legacy of veteran educator and former principal Jackie Pinder. Administrator at Tabernacle Baptist Academy, Norris Bain, acknowledging Pinder as one of the women who played an influential role in his development as a young educator.
Lynn Glinton, Sheila Scavala, and Jackie Pinder. I could call on them any hour of the day, and they were ready to give solid, sound advice to this young principal. And Jackie and I remain close in terms of sharing of educational ideas and just the betterment of the various schools that we were involved in. And our last set of communication with her was during a time as principal of the St. Paul's Methodist School.
During her time under the Ministry of Education, Pinder served for several years as principal of the Walter Parker Primary School. Current principal Romelda Bean says she knew Pinder for about 20 years, working together in the education system.
Ms. Pinder's always been an administrator of excellence. She always expected your best at all times. She never accepted mediocrity. She asked teachers to put their best foot forward all the time. And she was just always a sophisticated, professional individual that did the job the way it's supposed to be done. She was someone we could depend on or call on for anything. So let's say I needed help in something, I could call on Ms. Pinder and she would help me.
She says Pinder made a significant impact during her time at the institution.
Academically, she got the grades back to where it needed to be because it had changed a lot over the previous years before. Otherwise, she made some changes in terms of, I think she was the person responsible for the parking lot, the paving of the parking lot, and she just got it back to character building traits and making sure our children knew the kinds of things that they should know before she left here.
Coach at Walter Parker Primary, Dorothy Russell, says she and Pinder worked together at 3 different institutions, Lewis Yard Primary, Maurice Moore Primary, and Walter Parker Primary, adding that Pinder was always full of life and her legacy will live on.
As a coach, if I needed something, she was there. If the children were playing on the field, Mrs. Pinder is always there. She was always there. Even at games, she would appear to show her support. That's the kind of person she was. With advice, she would always say, Dorothy, you got to make life what you want it to be. You got to enjoy life. Life is too short. And I took her advice.
First grade teacher at Walter Parker Primary, Nicole Walken, recalls knowing Pinder from she was a little girl attending St. Paul's Methodist College. She says she remembers her clearly as she was one of the only Bahamian teachers at the school.
And I remember the first day when she walked through the gate, she had very, very long black hair. And we were all wondering who the teacher is. And come to find out she was a Bahamian teacher. And from then our relationship blossomed again until I saw her a few years ago when she entered Walter Parker. She was our principal then. And I think my relationship with her was a little bit different because she expected more. She expected us to carry ourselves differently because we were Bahamian.
The educators each sending their condolences to the Pinder family, adding that she will be dearly missed. Pinder last served as principal of St. Paul's Methodist College. She passed away on October 20th at the age of 68. Shamila Misig, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. Our Facebook Friend of the Night up next.